says, O ye of stronger faith. That's really the title today. Because, O ye of little faith, how many of you have heard that in your lives? So we're talking today about having a stronger faith and bringing that into your life in all areas of your life. Having that faith of God, being able to say, yes, I can, and yes, I will. Not because of the human will, but because of the Spirit within each and every one of us that blesses, uplifts, and inspires us each and every day. Even when we don't think it's working, it's working. Even when we don't think something is happening, it is happening for our greatest good. If thou canst believe. That's really the key. And the better key is if thou canst know. So knowing is really having that stronger faith. So you're working really hard on something, you're giving it your all, and then all of a sudden you come to a roadblock. Anyone else? And so when you come to that roadblock, what will you do with that? Will you be encouraged or discouraged? That is the question that we must ask ourselves all of the time. I am not going to allow something to get into my way that will stop me from having what it is that I desire, from having what it is that I know that I can bring into my life and my world through the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit within. And that Spirit operates for each and every one of us unconditionally. Spirit knows nothing about who we are. The elements of identification are given by the human experience. Think about that. We give each other an experience of humanness. Spirit knows nothing about that. Spirit knows only to give unconditionally. And when you get clarity about that, and when you begin to know that, and when you come from that idea with conviction, there is nothing that you cannot have. Dr. Grayson used to say, once you let go of all of your doubt, once you have treated out all of the reasons why you cannot have something, you will have it. Today's lesson is about a plan for action. It's about getting a plan, and it's about having faith that that plan is working for you and working through you. If you have a plan, you have something to work with. If you have a goal or an idea, you have something to work with. So each and every person in this room with a plan, with an idea, has something to work with. Does everyone in here have some kind of a plan or an action or something to work with? Yes. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to wake up every single day and say to yourself, I cannot have this? No. I will have it because I am willing to have it and I am able to have it. And it could be, every person in this room has a different idea about what they would like to have. Some people are very happy just as they are. They're very, very happy having whatever it is that they have, but maybe they have a health challenge. I've heard a lot of people speaking about balance. I've been doing a lot of treatment work this week for a lot of people with health issues. That has been really a majority of the clients I've been working with. And I want you to get clarity about your health, because your health belongs to you. It doesn't belong to anyone else. And yes, you can get advice, and yes, we go to doctors, and we accept certain things, but we also know with clarity that we are getting healthier every day, that we have health and wholeness and wealth and balance in our lives. Because if we focus on being out of balance, that's where we are. And as someone reminded me this morning, we are always working on our balance. We are always coming into balance. Everything is always working through us to give us a balancing activity. And that balancing activity, it's almost like a juggler, and we're juggling different things, and we're doing things throughout life. That's what life is. However, we do come into balance energetically through our mind, through our power, through our treatment. So to go around and tell yourself every day, I'm not in balance, I'm out of balance, what are you really saying to yourself? You are continually progressing with that idea. You have to look at your ideas and where they are taking you. This is key in our teaching, everyone. Where will your ideas take you? Will they take you with the faith of God, the faith within yourself that, yes, I can do this, the faith that I have balance in life, that I am always creating balance, that balance is creativity and joy, that I am strengthened by my word? That treatment done this morning from Fanny was a treatment of power and authority. Speak your word with that kind of authority. Don't be afraid. One of the things that I read as I was preparing this lesson was that most people, their greatest fear is that their prayer will not be answered. And I looked at that and I thought, that's very interesting. But if your prayer is really answered by the self within you, how will you answer your prayer? We were talking this morning about language, which is so important. All the great teachers have taught about language. Louise Hay, Dr. Grayson, Raymond Charles Barker, Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, Emma Curtis Hopkins. The power of words. They are so important. So if you're asking the question, what answer are you giving? What answer are you giving to the question you're asking? If you would like to have something, if you have an idea about something, and you're saying, I want to write a book, or I'd like to have better health, I'd like some more wealth and creativity, what do you follow up with that? What are you saying to that? How are you answering your own question? Because when you become aligned with this power and presence within you, you are answering in the affirmative. This is our form of prayer. Our form of prayer is an affirmative prayer. We are always knowing, affirming, the answer is always given in a positive way. We don't beg. This is not a teaching of begging. We don't get down on our knees and beg God to please help us. That's not what our teaching is about. We say, yes, Spirit, I know that you are within me and you are always answering my prayers. And my prayers are always answered affirmatively because I have this greater faith and ability. I have this greater talent. What is it that you have within yourself? Greater health, greater wealth, greater creativity and self-expression, and more loving, harmonious relationships. Very, very true. You know, I had an experience this week. I went out to lunch with my sister, and that was an experience. It really was. I mean, it was a nice experience. We had a nice time. But it was very interesting because my sister took me out for lunch. And when we went out for lunch, we went to a very nice restaurant, very fancy place. She got very upset a little bit about the prices on the menu. And it didn't bother me at all. Of course, I wasn't paying for it, so why would it? But I also have to know, though, that a poverty consciousness does not come from how much you have. It comes from what you think about money all of the time. There are so many people who have not a lot of money and they are prosperous because they believe in themselves, they love life, and they have the power of life at hand all of the time. You see? That's the learning. And people who have a prosperity consciousness are always giving. They are giving, they are generous, they have the spirit of generosity within them. That's prosperity, true prosperity. And the people who have a poverty consciousness, they cannot give, they are locked up within themselves, always afraid that they won't have enough, they won't be enough, they won't be able to give. The messages that you send out to the universe are always returning to you, always returning to you. So the messages that you send out are the ones that you want to get some clarity about. You want to be clear about the messages that you are sending out to the universe. It's very, very important. I want to also share something else from this wonderful book called Prayer from Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, if we are to have an active faith, which is a strong faith, the faith of God instead of merely a faith in God, We must be centered in universal mind. That's what he's talking about, universal mind. We are centered in universal mind, each and every one of us. My mind is a center of divine operation. We need to say that together. My mind is a center of divine operation. Think about those words and what those words mean. It means that your mind and my mind are at one with the divine. That your mind is a center of divine operation and it operates for you all of the time. Whatever idea that you have for yourself, fulfill it. And yes, there are roadblocks in life and we all come to them. And we come to them, but what will we do with those roadblocks? Will we neutralize and dissolve them through our prayer treatment? Or will we allow them to stop us in our tracks, to not go any further? That is really the question. Will we bring enthusiasm into everything that we do despite other people thinking we're a little cuckoo? I get that sometimes. Why are you so happy? Why are you enthusiastic? Not that I'm always like that, but I am like that a lot of the times. And people say that to me, and it used to bother me, and I said, I better shut this down a little bit. I better not be so happy, you know? No, it's okay for me to be happy. It's okay. It's really okay. So you're giving yourself permission to live and to feel better and to feel good, despite what other people are thinking. I always share the idea from Dr. Wayne Dyer. I free myself of the good opinions of other people. Remember that, because that's positive. You're saying that they're saying something really nice anyway. It doesn't matter. If you're happy, be happy. Be happy when you're happy. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to be enthusiastic. Life is really rich with blessings, filled with love and joy and all kinds of things once you turn off the television set. If you have the television set on, it's not so happy. True? Yes. But when you walk away from that and you get aligned with the spirit that is within you, always working for you, it will bring you up to a whole new consciousness. It will raise you up. It will give you the gift of life in a new way. And every day you will be renewed spiritually if you honor the spirit within you. If you create a deepened faith, a greater faith, not in the human will, but in the spirit within each and every one of us. You know, I look at some of our great teachers, and I look at Louise Hay and her life, Reverend Michael Beckwith. They honor their lives and they honor what they're teaching to everyone else. We have to honor ourselves and honor others that come in front of us. And for some of us, when we think about prosperity, we get a little bit upset about it. You know, it's kind of like an upsetting kind of thing because sometimes we're taught. How many of you were taught this? Eat everything on your plate. Yes, right? I don't do that, never did. Because I shared this before, I could never understand how people that were starving in another country could benefit because I didn't finish my food. It never ever resonated with me, I didn't get it. As a child, I would say, I don't see how this helps anyone. And I'm finished, I'm done. I had enough food, thank you. I was young when I said that, that's how I feel. You have to go within a little bit. You can't always look at what you're being told about things. You collect information, and then Dr. Grayson said this so succinctly. When you really, really get spirit, you'll collect information, but you'll go to spirit as your source. Spirit is your source. God is your source and your supply. And letting go of the idea that we have to penny pinch all of our lives. That's not a good idea. When we go into the free flow of life, the energy of money, everything has energy. Everything. So if you're holding on for dear life to your money, Denzel Washington, famous quote, I've said it so many times, I've never seen a hearse with a U-Haul in back of it. I love that quote. That's from Denzel Washington. He gave that at a college graduation. Some of you are looking a little puzzled. In other words, when you pass on and you make your transition, you don't take anything with you, except the spirit, which leaves, and we don't know. I don't know. Anybody here know? Please let me know after the service. We don't know. We just don't know, right? I always say that. Some people seem to know. You know, I grew up in a teaching where they told you where you were going. Anybody else grow up in that teaching? If you were a child, you went here. If you were this, you went there. If you were an animal, you went here. If you were this. I used to think to myself as a child, I was smart as a child. I really was, but then I got conditioned. And I used to sit in my church and I would say to myself, but how do they know this stuff? How do they know? I don't understand how they know all of this. And then you say, well, it's the Bible. Well, I took a course with Dr. Grayson where he taught something called the Metaphysical Bible, which was fascinating. He had a Harvard Bible scholar teach the class. I didn't even understand the man. And then he explained it to us. And he said, it's like a story. So where am I going with this? I'm going to the idea that when you have faith, as a little child has faith. That's one thing about children, they're so open, and they have so much innocence, and they have this quality about them. That is really strength. There's a strength in that. That makes you stronger, not weaker. When you are open to the spirit within you, and you go to that spirit to be fed and nourished and uplifted and inspired and blessed, you don't go outside, you go within. That's what creates the difference in all of our lives. As sure as I am standing here, when you pray, and you pray with the Spirit, and you know as the Spirit knows you, you get to know this Spirit that is within you. And you sit in the stillness and you listen. And every day I say to myself, I am always divinely guided and directed. I ask for and receive divine guidance. And I know that I have it, because I've been saying it for many years now. So I not only say it, but I know it. What's the difference? When you say something, when you are using words to say something, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. But when you know something, no one can take it away from you. That's faith. No one can take what you know away from you. Think about that. Think about those words. Resonate with those words. If you feel something deep in your heart that you would like to contribute, if you have a purpose in life and you are contributing, as all of us are, what you know about yourself, no one else can take from you. First, we start off in this teaching by gathering the information. That's all a big part of it. And we learn how, through a method, to do something called spiritual mind treatment. And then we begin with our faith to move into meditation, to be still and know. Those words, be still and know that I am God, that I am the Spirit within each and every one of you, working for you, working through you each and every day, blessing your experience, giving you that creativity, whatever it is that you are looking for, that divine idea of employment for some of you, that is a rich idea that is blessing, uplifting, and inspiring you. That lifestyle of balance, creating balance in your life, which is always a creation. I was reminded of that this morning. That's always a creation. We are always creating something. Why not create the balance, the health, and the well-being? And let go of the idea that someone can take something away from you. Because once you have it, no one can take it from you. And there are some things that we have within us. They are intrinsic. They are a part of our system, our spirituality. The gift of the Spirit, the gift that Spirit brings to us, Spirit brings through us. The information that we get comes from that alignment, from that energy, from the divine Spirit of life. We are always being guided. You know, I did this whole lesson this morning and I didn't even look at anything. And that's okay. It's okay. Before I'd be all, oh my God, what did I do? I'm not following the plan. That's okay. It's all good. It's good not to follow the plan sometimes, right? I opened up to this page, surrender to the right idea for you. Surrender to the right idea for you. But I did write some things down, and I want to make sure that I get this into the class. The idea that faith has only to do with religion is not true. The idea that faith has something to do with religion is not true. Faith is a faculty of the mind. So whether you choose to be religious or not has nothing to do with faith, because faith is a faculty of the mind. In other words, what you practice with faith, and yes, faith is a part of religion, I'm not saying it's not, but there are those out there who maybe don't have religion and yet they have faith. They have faith in their ability, they have faith in the things they are doing, you see? Faith is something we cultivate and we acquire by believing that we have it. First the idea of faith, then the belief in faith, and then the inner knowingness that says, yes, I have faith in the goodness of life. Do you believe, some people believe we're being tested with what's going on around us? And I always remember my teacher, and I honor him every day. He always said, God never tests us. God doesn't know anything about tests, but we test ourselves. Sometimes I'll look at the news and say, you know, I took a yoga class this week, and when we were finished with the yoga class, I said, a group of people, I said, I don't want to go out there. And they all started laughing. And I said, I wish the world would take a yoga class. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be so wonderful. But since the world is not going to take a yoga class, we have to go within, you see? We have to replenish ourselves every day with the faith of God, that God is working through us in a greater capacity than ever before. That God is doing for us, always, creating a greater amount of supply, prosperity, and also you may have faith in letting go of your fears. Because the opposite of faith is really fear, isn't it? And the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing as reality. That is the acronym for fear. There's a lot of fear out there. You have to unplug. Take the plug out. Take the plug out. Don't plug into that. Take the plug out. And we work in the human experience, all of us do. We work in the human experience. But we also work in the spiritual experience. And the spiritual experience of life will bring us back to our faith over and over and over again. It will bless us, support us, uplift us, and inspire us. So let me see what else I wrote down here. So the idea I said that faith has only to do with religion is not true. We know spirit can and will demonstrate, and this is important. There is no opposition to spirit. Spirit knows only to give. And when we look out into our outer circumstances and allow ourselves to be stopped, we are then going toward fear rather than toward faith. Does everyone see that? If you have faith, then you are going with the thing that you would like to acquire or attract into your life. Prosperity, well-being, health, balance, order. Divine order and perfect right action are the theme of my life. Let's say that together. Divine order and perfect right action are the theme of my life. Think about what that means. Always having divine order, always coming into the idea of certainty, being certain about what it is that you are doing, allowing yourself to demonstrate. Divine order and perfect right action are the themes of my life. And when thought becomes spiritualized, it is filled up with the spirit of life and it creates through us. We rise above duality, you see, because there is always a dual nature. That's part of humanity. There's good, there's bad, there's rich, there's poor. There's always that duality operating. So we need to get the clarity. We need to work on the idea of having clarity of purpose, clarity of mind. Clarity is also a part of faith. Letting go of fear. Letting go of it. Releasing it, neutralizing it, and dissolving it. Having an active faith. O ye of little faith is a reminder to each and every one of us to become stronger in our faith. To go from O ye of little faith to O ye of greater faith. How do you do that? You do it with words. And then it becomes, your words become your actions, don't they? Your words become your actions and your activities in life. You know, it's interesting because when I think about my family, my brother, my sister, and myself, there are three of us and we are all so different. We have all demonstrated different things, and it's because of our thoughts, our thinking. I have the teaching. My brother and sister do not. No judgment, nothing. It's okay, it's all good. However, I look at the demonstrations with my sister. I will suggest things with her. She doesn't want to hear about anything. Nothing good. She wants to stay where she is. She wants to bemoan her fate that her son moved away, her only child, and yada, yada, yada. So what I say is, when you do that, you're really wasting every day of your life on something that you have no control over. Does everyone get that? Yeah. My son moved away a long time ago. I worked with it. It's dealing with life. It's blessing the situation. I like what Barbara says about blessing. Give a blessing to someone or something when you think that it may challenge you. Instead of cursing it, bless it. Bless the situation. Give a blessing. That renews and strengthens your faith within you. O ye of little faith. When you think about those words, I want you to begin to understand that you can have a stronger faith, that you can turn those words around, that you can have faith in your ability every day to have the best day that you can have and to become always the best version of yourself. You can't be anyone else. I've said this before, Oscar Wilde, right? What did he say? Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. There's nowhere else for you to go. I know sometimes people go to the movies and they want to become somebody else, right? But you can't. You have to be yourself, but you can always be the best version of yourself. Give yourself a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of joy. Give yourself that spirit. The spirit of life travels with you wherever you go. So just know that and accept that and build your faith on that. Have that faith-based conviction which says, O ye of stronger faith, rather than O ye of little faith. I'd like to close this lesson. We'll close a little early with a spiritual mind treatment for everyone, and then Yoichi is going to play a couple of songs for us because he got stuck on one of the trains, right? Yeah? Bus. Oh, okay. Bus. Okay. So we're going to go within and know this truth for faith, okay? So we've already been established in consciousness with that beautiful treatment from Fanny, and now we're going to go within and we're going to strengthen our faith. So having heard this lesson, let's treat to know. There is one life, one power, and one presence in the universe called God, the Divine One. And each and every one of us is a part of this Divine One. We take everything from this service this morning, from beginning to end, from the wonderful, magnificent treatment, from the wonderful reading, the music that we are getting, the lesson this morning, and we demonstrate faith. We demonstrate a stronger faith in the good that we are experiencing each and every day. As we let go of any appearances of fear, resistance, rejection, or inner rebellion, we are renewed, we are appreciating our lives in a new way, we are moving out into life in a new direction. We are whole, perfect, and complete. And through the eyes of spirit, there is a revealing of health and wholeness for each and every one of us. Not only are we uplifted and inspired and blessed, but we are moved out into life in a new direction this day and always. We say yes to the divine experience. We say yes to strengthening our faith. And we say yes to the goodness of God, to the wholeness of our experience as life. Because we know not only who we are, but we know whose we are. And for this and so much more, we express gratitude and love. And this word is now in the law. With gratitude and love, it is released. It is done, so be it. And together we say, and so it is. And that is the way it is. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now we're going to have our offering affirmation, and then we'll have some wonderful, we have our prayer from Louise Hay, some wonderful magic from Yoichi. Yay.
Let me do one thing. Hi, good morning. I'm so happy to be here. Finally, I just got here. I'm sorry I'm being a little late. So, yeah, I just came from Philadelphia. I had a great night last night, and it was really wonderful. The performance itself went so great, so I'm really thankful for that. I have a little announcement. I'm playing tonight again at the Bonafide at the 212 East 52nd Street from 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. I think 2 shows tonight. And also, tomorrow night, a place called City Winery. I heard they're closing, but we're still there. Tomorrow night, I think we start at 7:30. Can't remember. But if you want to catch me playing real piano, so those two performances this Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, if you have any questions, please come to me and ask me any question. So thank you. So this morning, while I was taking the subway from Port Authority, I just keep thinking about like being late. Like, and I think this is the first time, second time being late. I've been here for like more than probably 3 years now. I guess it's a rare occasion. So I kept thinking about like, okay, one name of a song. It's called "It's Too Late." So I guess I gotta go with it. So this morning you will hear Carole King medley from me, which I have never ever done in my life. So please bear with me. But I'm pretty sure I heard good amount of time. So hope you enjoy.
King rendition. Thank you, thank you. At this time, we have our sharing. Everyone feel better than when they came in? Yes? Yeah. Raising up the energy. Barbara, Blake. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Shonda. Hmm. So that's an example. What she's talking about, Shonda's talking about, is the example of commitment. Commitment with faith. Just letting it go, letting spirit operate through you, and then all of the things are opening. Yeah. So you combined your commitment with your faith. 20 yoga classes in 10 days. I love that. That's a great example. Without any kind of disbelief, just saying, I'm going to do it. So that's part of the plan of action. Whatever you commit to with faith will become your experience. Thank you. Very powerful. Thank you, Shonda. Anyone else want to share anything at all? Anybody? Yes, John.
I appreciate your clarification on separating faith from religion.
Yes. I love, yeah. Yes.
So I really appreciate you pointing that out. Faith is a personal faith.
Yeah.
It's not a religious faith.
Yeah, I love that idea that faith is something that is bestowed upon you. You know, that's an eye-opener. Because if you think about your experience as a child, you know, only the church or the temple or whatever you belong to can give you that. When in reality, you can give it to yourself because it's always there for you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? I love the intelligence of this group of people. We're all so bright. We really are, yes. Yes?
Yes, what you said about faith and showing that it's more basic even than religion is some examples that if you are go into the bathroom, you have total confidence that when you turn the valve, you're going to get hot and cold water. And that's very basic, has nothing to do with religion, but that's the faith in these kind of invisible forces.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And would you say that again, Barbara Blake, about faith? I love that. That's a very good reminder. Faith is forwarding all issues to heaven. So we'll all take that with us for this week. Thank you. Thank you all. Every single one of you have a blessed week. Be inspired. Have a great Memorial Day holiday. All the best. Thank you. Thank you. There's lots of goodies on the back table for you. Enjoy. Enjoy.